Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be covering my Sakazuki build that took out the Good Games Winner Box tournament a week or so ago. I'm finally getting around to it now. But yes, let's jump straight into it. I'll start off though with I'll be talking a bit more about my matchups and my game plan going into each of the decks that I played at the time. As I'm sure you've all seen Sakazuki decks builds by now, and most builds are just different variations of the numbers of each card anyway. So I'll go over which card is useful for what, obviously, and go through the deck on why I played it, but we'll be focusing more on how I went into each of the matchups to help you guys out with certain matchups and stuff like that. Alright, well let's jump straight into it. So we have our Sakazuki leader. Obviously you all know by now, but I'll give you a quick rundown. Each turn you get to cycle a card by trashing one to draw one. Has to trash before draw, and when attacking you give one of your opponents -1 for the turn. That is a very, very good ability because it's a free -1, which lines up into a lot of your combos later on into the game. It's very, very helpful just to get down that one extra without having to pay Don. Alright, and let's go into our Tsuru. So Tsuru's obviously been a staple 2K since its release. This card actually does see play, and I have played it out quite a few times against in the mirror match, even against yellow sometimes, just to get that 10 cost out the board just a little bit quicker if I don't have the correct amount of events in hand. And then we have our Manchury. Manchury is very, very, very good in the mirror for Sakazuki. I don't see myself playing it that often outside of the mirror. Obviously, in different circumstances and different variations of games, obviously I do play it, just not as often as one would think. We have Rebecca. Rebecca's obviously the very, very good engine for the deck. Gets back a 3 or 3 to 7 from the trash, and then plays a 3 or less. 9 times out of 10, that's going to be your Hina you get back from trash to play your Hina rested, or getting back your Tsu or your Toshigis to then play a Hina from hand to get yourself an extra 2k. So a very, very, very good card helping out with your combos. Then we have your searcher of the deck. We have the Branu, which is on play look at top 3, reveal 1 navy type. Other than Branu, which searches your 4-drop Kuzan, your 7-drop Borsalino, your 4-drop Borsalino, all the good navy cards that you're running in your deck, and all of your events as well. So very, very good card. And then we have the ulti. This can be switched out for a few things. Things like the 3-drop Hina, the blue Hina, 3-drop 4k. If you have 5 or less cards, draw a card on play. It's also a very good thing. It's one that I'm testing out at the moment, so that my deck is currently going through some changes, but I'm sure I'll update you guys later on through that if it does well. This is a very good card. It's a huge threat for Sakazuki going first. In the mirror, that is, and even things like yellow. It's a very, very good card that needs to be answered, or they can't really play anything because you've just got a free bot deck just sitting there on the board. So very good card. I do rate it quite highly. I do think Hina's a little bit better, in my opinion, purely because of the draw, but it's currently being tested. And then we have your Toshigi. I do play Toshigi, but very, very, very rarely because of its Don investment. I have to invest quite a lot of Don to play it out. I don't avoid playing it, but 9 times out of 10 I would keep in hand over playing it. Definitely. It does see a lot of cycle though, so it does go to the trash, come out of the trash very, very often. And then we have the Hina. This Hina is very good for just playing out raw for the 3 Don, or getting summoned with the Rebecca. A very good combo to do is the 7-drop Borsa and the Hina. You can do with 10 Don, obviously. You got -4 with your Hina, and then you can swing with lead, which is -5, and then Borsa. So you can drop your Yamatos, they can get bot decked, any 9 cost and below from that point. So it's a very, very strong combo, a very strong card. Definitely a 4 of in my opinion. And another thing, over here we have the Kuzan, which is a 2 of. Now I put this to a 2 of because it's very good in the mirror, has to be answered. It's very good against yellow, has to be answered. But it's not necessary. It's a very good card you can get out and keep out, especially comboing with your Sabo. But 9 times out of 10, if you don't get it out on your second turn going second, it's 9 times out of 10 just going to be cycled through on hand. So it is very useful, very good card, but I only have it as a 2 of because of that reason. And then we have the absolute goat of the deck, our 4-drop Borsalino. This card is such a menace. It's so sticky and it's such a good poker, just swinging with it, because obviously it can't be KO'd by effects, only bot deck, and they have to have the bot deck to get rid of it in the first place. So I play this a lot, and it is in a lot of my game plans against yellow and even in the mirror Sakazuki as well. So yeah, we have that as a 3 of though, purely because we don't need 4, and I do have other additions to the deck that I just needed 1 less card, so the Borsalino took the hit down to a 3 of. And then we have the actual goat of the deck, which is the Rob Lucci. Rob Lucci is pretty much the best card in the deck. Sakazuki's nickname is Sakalucci, so if that doesn't give you a hint on how strong the card is, I don't know what will. But the on-play effect is amazing. You place 3 cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck, and you KO a 1 cost and a 2 cost, which is amazing because of all of the combo neg in your deck. That's why it is a staple 4 of. A very, very good card. And then we've got our Sabo. I've got my Sabo as a 2 of. Now, I think this is one of the strongest blockers to get put in this deck, purely because you can play things like your 4-drop Kuzan, your Sabo, just to keep everything alive. So if you've established a Rebecca with a Hina, you've even got a Rob Lucci out, just dropping this and keeping it unkillable for a turn, and the only way they can get rid of it is bot deck, is so strong and so not oppressive to them, but they need to answer by either filling their own board or just bot decking the absolute crap out of your board. So very strong card. Love this, especially in yellow. And then we have the 7-drop Borsa. Now with 7-drop Borsa, I've only got this to 3 of because 4's a bit too many, 2's a little bit too little, so 3 it is. That's just the way it is. Very, very strong card against all of your big bodies, because it bots a 4 or less. Yes, it's very expensive, but when you're pairing it with things like Ice Age, it's very beneficial. Left with 2 Don, obviously you can drop things like a Branu. You could even Hound Blaze. So there's a lot of combos you can pull off with Borsalino. So don't be too scared about his cost, because he is one of the strongest things in the deck. Now moving on to the Ice Age, I've got this as a 2 of, because there is a lot of big bodies that just get dropped constantly, and if you're dropping like 2 to 3 cards to neg your opponent's characters like a turn, it gets very hand depleting. So having a card for 1 Don negging 5 is very good, and that's why I've got that as a 2 of. It used to be as a 1 of, but I bumped it up, took something out, because it's just such a strong card. And then we've got the Great Eruption. Great Eruption is amazing, purely because it replaces itself and negs 2, so a very good card for keeping hand size. The trigger's okay. I don't actually use the trigger at all. I've never once used the trigger, I think, because it's just a lot better used as the main effect rather than the trigger effect. Then we have the new Hound Blaze. The new Hound Blaze is absolutely cracked. A lot of people want this card restricted or banned. I say, tough shit, toughen up. It's about time Blue got some love with some nice events. But this card is absolutely cracked. Bottoming a 2 and plus 3k power. I go for game a lot because of this card, purely because it's just a free 1k. So you're spending 2 Don plus 3k to something, and you're gaining a k just out of absolutely nowhere. And then we've got my one of 3k worlds. Now this card is amazing for really high bodies. Obviously it does have quite a hefty cost, but that is outweighed by the playability of it, purely because you could just get it in hand and play it, or just cycle it. It's very, very, very good on that aspect of things. So I don't think I'd bump this to a 2 of. I have thought about it, but other than that, I got it as the 1 of in the deck, little tech, but